Look, as normal as clashes and conflicts are in marriage, even though people don't expect it, there's so many collapses, relational collapses.
Yes.
What leads to all these collapses, David?
You know, Dave and Christie, I think that so many couples are in crisis because they don't have skills and because they're doing so many things that sabotage a relationship. I
Okay,
mean,
like what? What
listen,
sabotages
how many people do you know that have a biting tongue? How many do you know that are sarcastic? How many do you know that when they have conflict, they storm out of a room? How many do you know that turn things back on somebody else? Oh yeah, you think you've got problems? Well,
And they
I
up
mean,
it,
you
right?
think you're upset with me? Well, what about me? And they just go at it with each other. How many do you know that banter and bicker? I have couples that come into my office and they've sat down for 15 seconds and they're at each other.
Okay, but you guys, we know that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm serious. We know all those things,
yes.
but it doesn't change the way we behave when we're in the
Well, see,
midst of being hurt.
See, here's the deal. If it's predictable, it's preventable. So when a couple comes, I had a couple yesterday, and the woman said, she said, we have a roller coaster relationship. And I said, that's incredible news. That is great news. And she's looking at me like I've got three eyes, you know. I said, well, what's incredible about having a roller coaster relationship? Well, the incredible news is if there's ups and downs, we can figure out what takes you down and what takes you up. And guess what? We're going to reinforce what takes you up, and we're going to eliminate what takes you down. So if sarcasm and a biting tongue and slamming doors and demanding your own way, and if all those things, those are predictable, they will lead you straight in a linear path to a crisis and the big D word, then we're going to work on eliminating those things, and you're going to be in much better shape.
Okay, but when you're down in the roller coaster,
okay, you're fighting and you don't remember the good things
there's
about.
tons of times that you honestly feel like giving up.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and so right away,
Absolutely.
I want people to know, have you ever felt like giving up?
Totally.
Have you ever felt,
Absolutely.
like, honestly felt
Absolutely.
like throwing it away?
So here's another tool that couples must have. They must call timeouts. They must remember, really important point here.
I have to tell you, in this last week, I went like this to Mark.
Not only do you time out and create some safety in the relationship, but you remember the good things in this relationship. Because when you're in the middle of a fight and you've been bantering and
let's be
bickering for
honest.
2 days,
David, we counsel so many people. When they're ticked off to each other, like big time, they're not thinking,
boom,
oh,
I'm
you know,
outta here.
I'm going to just count to 10. I mean, they've already blown the gasket, right? They're fried. They're ready to choke somebody.
So they haven't done this, Dave. And here's another skill. I'm going to tell you, it's incredibly difficult to learn a skill, but they must, have to, got to, absolutely necessary. Did I make that clear?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. They must manage their defensiveness. Okay? Meaning we all have this thing going up and down inside of us, like
and
I'm at a 2, I'm at a 6,
ways.
I'm at a 9. When I'm at a 7 with my wife, we're not talking.
Right.
It's not called a talk.
You're already biting each other.
It's a fight. It's a fight, and it's going to be destructive.
Right.
Okay? So I don't know if we agree on this. I say that when we get to a 7 and we're bickering, nothing good will come out of it.
Right.
So we must manage our defensiveness.
Right.
And so when I get to a 3, in fact, I practice this now, and I got to tell you, I'm practicing it. Christy, I'm practicing this, my wife. So I am practicing this. When I get to a 3, I say, we've got to stop this conversation. She goes, well, I don't want to stop the conversation. We have to stop the conversation, because if I get to a 7, I'm going to say things I'm going to regret. It's going to hurt us.
I have a police officer friend who had a husband who was so violent, right, that they had to come into the house.
Yes.
And I can't help it, I just get going this way. And the cop said, okay, let's see. He walked over, he started punching the guy in the chest. And he said, here, hit me. I dare you to hit me. Come on, hit me. He kept going like that. And the guy would hit, why wouldn't you hit me? Why would you hit me? You got self-control now. He said, I can't hit you because I'll go to jail.
Yes,
See, you can say no. You can stop.
Ooh, I like that.
And he said, look sir, you've got to respect your wife. If you don't do that, we'll be back again. We will take you to jail. But you got to realize right here and now, you did not slug me, even though I pushed you in the chest 4 times.
Well, there's good news to that, Dave. That applies to a certain extent, and a certain extent it doesn't. Most of us, if we're with our mate behind closed doors and we get to a 7 on a 1 to 10 scale, and we don't care if we hurt our mate. You know, I mean, they may say to us, "Don't."
But how sad, though, eh?
It is.
We don't even care if we hurt our mate. That's tragic.
It is tragic.
Yeah.
And so what we do then, again, managing defensiveness, we keep we acknowledge that we're escalating, and we say to ourselves, I'm escalating. We say to our mate, look I'm getting upset with you. I mean, this is going to sound incredibly simple, but I want to just teach everybody to say this. I'm getting upset with you. Can we all repeat that?
Yeah.
I'm getting upset with you.
Uh-huh.
I have to add 4 more words. and I need to stop. 5. And I need to stop.
stop.
Okay, all together. I'm getting upset with you, and I need to stop. You can even hum it if you want.
I know, I don't know.
We got it.
So we have to manage defensiveness so that on a 1 to 3, I can talk with you. We can problem solve, and we can work on issues.
People whose 3 to 7 starts getting louder and bigger, okay, they understand that. But you know what? Some people's 3 to 7 is getting quieter and quieter.
And more bitter and more
More
private.
bitter and still, but here's another thing that happens at the 3 to 7, at the 3 to 10 scale. Again, it is not a conversation. Are we clear about that?
Okay.
And so what happens is control and coercion. I want to convince you that you are wrong and that I am right. And it's called, and you know this, everybody knows these words, it's called a power struggle.
Totally.
A power struggle. I want to win over you. I don't care what you think.
I'm having a power struggle
and I'm
with
not
you
listening.
right now.
I'm not
go.
listening to you.
We all know about the power struggle,
Power
and we
struggle.
all know our scale of 1 to 10, and all of us now can repeat that.
I'm getting upset with you, and I need to stop.
There we go.
Excellent. So you got to stay with us.